General Stanley McChrystal has spent much of the week shuttling around Washington, selling the administration's plan for Afghanistan. Amid all the talk of troop numbers and withdrawal dates, the general also brought up another important element in the strategy: development.
The harder part is coordinating non-governmental organizations and other international partners. That's one of the areas where we need to continue to seek unity of effort so that every dollar or euro or man-hour of effort is focused towards a single outcome in Afghanistan. And we are doing a lot of coordination.
Coordination that concerns humanitarian groups that have been working in the region for decades. Groups such as Oxfam and CARE International have recently issued a warning about what they see as the increasing militarization of development in Afghanistan.
Sometimes military leaders assume that because we're in the same place, we share the same overarching goals. Our goals are help the Afghan people, ideally to help them help themselves. The military's goal is to fight and win a war and to provide security. And they're really motivated by U.S. national interests. We are motivated by humanitarian causes. We adhere to humanitarian principles.
Humanitarian groups say that in 2009, their fundraising fell $200 million short of what they needed to aid the Afghan people. Still, the organization, CARE International, has turned down funding grants from the U.S. government. They say it's because the money comes with strings attached.
Some of the grants that they're proposing now require us to undertake activities such as, quote, battlefield cleanup, unquote, that appears to be part of the military's clear, hold, and build strategy.
And that is really a concern for us because it may create the impression that we are directly related somehow with the military effort, and we want to remain neutral and independent from whatever the military is doing.
Despite several requests, neither USAID nor the Pentagon responded to Al Jazeera's questions. But the head of USAID in Afghanistan has addressed the issue. Quote, "Militarization of aid is a gross mischaracterization of what actually happens on the ground. Without counterinsurgency and without the military's support, many of the humanitarian agencies, such as Oxfam, that raise such complaints, would not be able to enter the area once controlled by insurgents." Beyond the risk of being closely associated with the military, humanitarian organizations also argue that they are simply better at delivering aid.
I just don't think the military should be telling Americans that if they want to work in the humanitarian field, they should go into the military. I think that if Americans want to do this good work, perhaps even veterans, they should come join our organizations.
But it may prove difficult in the long run for an organization such as the U.S. military that thrives on control to recognize that part of the mission, goodwill projects for the people of Afghanistan, may have to stay beyond its reach, leaving the hearts and minds of the Afghan people to humanitarian groups that have deep roots in the country and no 18-month deadline to begin their drawdown. Josh Rushing, Al Jazeera, Washington.